Welcome to the Explainer. Have you ever looked at your cat and just felt like they were speaking a completely alien language? Yeah, we've literally all been there. See, most of us grew up learning how to read the super obvious body language of dogs. So when we bring a cat into our homes, we end up hopelessly struggling to understand them simply because we're looking for canine signals in a completely feline world.
I mean, think about it for a second. Have you ever seen your cat roll over, reach down for what looks like an obvious open invitation for a lovely belly rub, only to end up with your hand lightly or maybe not so lightly scratched, right? If you're nodding your head right now, do not worry, you are absolutely not alone. Feline behavior is just incredibly nuanced, it's highly evolutionary, and honestly, it's frequently misunderstood by even the most loving cat owners. So today, we're decoding 5 key behaviors: the blink, the tail, making biscuits, the purr, and finally, the infamous belly trap. And our golden rule today? Context is king. Let's dive right in. Starting with sign number 1, the slow blink. Okay, let's dive into this, because if you want to know how a cat truly feels about you, you really just need to look at their eyes. A cat's eyes are a massive, undeniable indicator of their trust level. According to a really fascinating study in Scientific Reports, cats are significantly more likely to slow blink at their owners. And amazingly, they're even more likely to approach strangers who initiate a slow blink first. Animal behaviorists actually call this a Duchenne smile, basically a genuine, relaxed smile. It acts as this powerful universal signal of non-threat.
But you might be wondering, why is a simple blink so significant? Well, cats have this dual nature in the wild, right? They are fierce, solitary hunters, but they are also prey to larger animals. Because of this, staying alert is literally a biological necessity. Willfully narrowing their field of vision and actually closing their eyes in your presence is a huge safety risk for them. So when your cat deliberately does this, it means ultimate security. It is quite literally the highest compliment they can possibly give you.
Which brings us to sign number 2, tail position. And this brilliantly illustrates the whole concept. You can basically think of a cat's tail as the feline equivalent of a wave or a handshake. It tells you exactly what kind of mood they're bringing into the room. A cat walking towards you with a relaxed, upright tail posture, maybe with a little soft curl at the very tip, is a genuine happy greeting. They're essentially saying, "Hey, I am genuinely happy to see you right now." But here is where our context is king rule becomes absolutely vital. If you see a tail held up, but the fur is completely puffed out and the cat's back is arched, yeah, that is not a greeting. That's a heightened threat response. They're puffing up, trying to look bigger to ward off danger. So you always have to read the whole body, not just the fact that the tail is upright. All right, let's move on to sign number 3, the art of kneading. Have you ever been relaxing on the couch and suddenly become the victim of a highly focused late-night massage from your cat? You know exactly what I'm talking about. This behavior is affectionately known on the internet as making biscuits. It's a rhythmic pushing motion that actually stems all the way back to kittenhood. Kittens instinctively knead against their mothers to stimulate milk flow. It's an action deeply ingrained in their early survival and comfort. So the crucial point here is that this kitten behavior carries over into adulthood as a massive sign of deep contentment and safety. When your adult cat is kneading your lap or maybe your favorite sweater, they are returning to their absolute deepest state of comfort. They are telling you, plain and simple, that they feel as safe and provided for with you as they did with their mom. Next up, sign number 4, purring. Now, purring is easily the most recognizable feline behavior on the planet, but it is also arguably the most misunderstood. Seriously, we have all been conditioned to think that purring always equals happiness. But biologically speaking, a purr is actually a self-soothing mechanism. A content purr happens when the body is loose, the eyes are half closed, and yeah, maybe they're kneading. But a stressed purr, that might happen when a cat is hunched tightly in a corner, hiding, or refusing to eat. A purring cat is actively soothing themselves, which means a purring cat isn't always a happy cat. So to figure out what a purr actually means, you have to look for the necessary context. Ask yourself, are they kneading? Are their eyes soft, or are they hiding? Is their appetite totally normal? You really have to read the whole cat like a sentence, rather than just taking the purr as a single isolated word. Which brings us to our final and most dangerous sign. Number 5, the exposed belly thrust. It is time to completely debunk a major myth about feline vulnerability. See, cats choose their sleeping spots very deliberately based on safety. If you see signs of extreme vulnerability, like your cat sleeping completely stretched out, doing that classic dead bug pose on their back with legs splayed open, totally exposing their stomach, it means they feel entirely safe in your home. They are actively choosing to let their guard down. However, beware of the Venus flytrap warning. This exposed belly is a profound trust signal, for sure, but it is absolutely not an invitation for a belly rub. As we talked about earlier, reaching in for a rub often triggers a defensive scratch or bite simply because the belly protects their most vital organs. They're showing you that they trust you enough to be vulnerable, but they are not asking for physical touch. It's a look but don't touch kind of deal. So, how do we use this for fostering a stronger bond? Let's take a look. Let's see how this all builds together. How do we take all of this incredible behavioral science and actually use it? Well, by understanding feline social structures. Cats show mutual affection and trust with their preferred affiliates by allogrooming, which is just a fancy word for grooming each other, and resting closely together. By respecting the 5 signs we've just covered, and importantly, not forcing interactions, you naturally and safely integrate yourself into your cat's social group. To make this super easy to remember, here is a quick cat mood reading system. Notice the distinct patterns here. Happy, relaxed cats, upright tails, forward ears, soft eyes, and a loose posture. Unhappy or stressed cats, puffed tails, flat ears, dilated eyes, and arched or frozen postures. You want to always look out for these patterns so you can distinguish between acute relaxation and quiet, chronic stress. And here is exactly how you can proactively respond starting today. First, try slow blinking back to them to build trust. Second, respect the belly trap. Admire their vulnerability from afar. Third, observe the whole context of their body language. And finally, always speak to them softly to reinforce that you are a safe environment. You now have the exact tools to respond correctly. Learning this feline dictionary changes absolutely everything about how you share your home. You're no longer guessing, you are actually communicating. So I leave you with this. Take a look around the room right now. What is your cat trying to tell you?